Hi there, you're on Gossip Says channel. Enjoy watching, subscribe and like it. It's growing our community.
Story 1. I, 22F, broke up after an intense year with my partner, 24M. Confused and seeking advice. Hey everyone. I've been in a whirlwind relationship for a year and could really use some outside perspective. We're both students. Last year was the first time I'd moved abroad, and we lived in the same accommodation and have a shared friend group. Background. He's mostly been in long-distance relationships. His last 2-year long-distance relationship ended when his partner cheated. He's diagnosed with a general anxiety disorder. For the past 3 years, he took medication, but weaned off them about 3 weeks ago. He claims his distancing behavior and mood swings are due to his anxiety and adjustment post-medication. Before him, I was in a 3-year relationship that ended with my partner cheating. Unfortunately, cheating is a pattern I've experienced before. I have a history of moving quickly from one relationship to another, rarely allowing myself time alone. Crucially, he's the first person I've been intimate with, making our bond even more intense for me. Our relationship. From the start, we've had a push-pull dynamic. I love intimacy and quality time, while he often distances himself. Some lows include him not speaking to me for 5 days after a disagreement and shutting the door on me when I tried to communicate. We've had so many fights I can't even count, and at a point it had become such that I would cry almost every night. From April this year till July it was better though. However, the past 3 months were particularly rough. We even broke up a month back. It was after he had disrespected me by shutting the door on my face, simply because I waited to see him and knocked on his door happily waiting for him. But we got back together as the pattern is usually him disrespecting me distancing because I don't like it, and him coming back and saying sorry he will do better. It was good for 2 weeks, but then it got bad again. He had started weaning off his antidepressants and completely got off them. So he started having mood swings and would feel angry. One of the most hurtful moments was when I was sick and crying on call, seeking comfort, and he told me in a cold tone that he had work and laundry, effectively dismissing my feelings. Another would be that I got him gifts 2 weeks back, excited to give them to him and wanted to see him that day. But all he said was, "No, I'm tired, I'm going to sleep." Piss off and cut the call on me. He even forgot our 1-year anniversary. Another lows at the beginning of the relationship as well. There's just too many to even say out or remember. All our friends have seen my state and have since our 4th or 5th month together been asking me to leave. Despite these lows, I tried harder to grow and change. Even though a lot of things that I consider are bare minimum, I gave those up just to compromise for him. I tried understanding his need for space, but it never felt in line to him, and that's okay. It seems that he is an avoidance attachment style, and I've tried adjusting. I have tried tolerating a lot simply because I know he has anxiety issues, and I've convinced myself each time he disrespects me that, oh, it's his disorder, or oh, he just left his medication. I should be there for him, even if he treats me horribly. Me trying my best doesn't mean that the other person would actually receive what he wants to. He gave me hope for a long-term future. However, when I recently sought confirmation about us, he confessed his uncertainty. His reasoning? Our numerous conflicts, my brief relationship history, and his emotional struggles. To be precise, he said, "I can't decide if I want this long-term." And this was the deal breaker for me, which I said, and we hugged each other, and I cried, and all he said was, "We have had too many lows." I don't think either of us is ready for long-term commitment. Think about it, you haven't been by yourself for much time. And I have anxiety issues and will continue treating you bad. Aren't you tired of it? I'm surprised you still have feelings for me. This happened yesterday. Yet post-breakup, he still wants to be a part of my life, and we continue texting. The emotional turmoil is overwhelming. I've put in so much effort, overlooking his actions, hoping he'd change, especially because he made me envision a future together. But now, the uncertainty and his admission that he might keep treating me poorly have shattered that hope. And somehow, even after how much hurt I've endured, I can't feel angry at him. I still see potential and hope on him. I still love him, and I still want to wait for him. even though he probably does not care at this point after what happened yesterday. It's confusing because my friends keep asking me how I'm still standing strong on being with him after everything. How am I not angry? How have I not let him go completely? I'm confused myself. I don't understand why I still have a soft spot for him. It's like he mistreats me and I get angry. And then I forget about it completely and ignore all the stuff he has done to hurt me. More so, I'm confused about us still maintaining contact because he said that he wants to still be involved with me. He's never been so close to anyone else before and I'm precious to him. And it's hard for him to break up too, but also that I can come over to his place whenever. We can talk, etc. It doesn't feel like a breakup. I put in everything into this because I wanted something long term. And now that's not there anymore. I'm deeply attached and confused. Should I maintain this connection or sever ties for my own well-being? Story 2. I'm 19F. Partner is 24M. I need advice. How can I even fix this? Hey there, I've never been much of a Redditor, but unfortunately, I don't really have any friends and I'm not sure who to turn to anymore. I'm 19F and my boyfriend is 24. We've been together for 2.5 years. We were long distance for the first 2 years, and he would come to visit every so often, even though we lived on opposite sides of the US. He moved in with me and my grandparents back in January. Admittedly, I'm stupid for even being in a relationship for this long. During certain periods in our relationship, he was pretty emotionally abusive, but it seems like no matter how shitty he treats me, I can't let him go. I've been depressed most of my life, but once I found him, I finally felt happy. Even my grandparents said they'd never seen me this happy before. I make him the center of my whole world. I do anything for him. I do so much for him that most people wouldn't do. Lately, it feels like neither one of us has been super happy in the relationship though. I think he's kinda bipolar, like my mom was. He gets really distant and stops caring about me, which makes me really depressed, longing for the love and care he provides when he isn't distant. When he's not distant, it's like the best thing in the world. We are so close and I feel so happy. It just sucks because he usually doesn't care about me. If I cry, he will lay next to me watching YouTube, unbothered. When I was having a miscarriage, I was weeping in pain, and he didn't even bat an eye. It's really hard to make me cry from pain too. He has a pretty low sex drive compared to me, so I constantly feel sexually frustrated. He is also pretty introverted and never wants to go out to do things. I can be the same way sometimes, so I understand, but it also sucks. Last night we had a talk. He had been talking to someone behind my back, and I caught him on accident. He wasn't cheating or anything, but I scrolled through the conversation, and he had been talking about how he has been thinking about leaving me. Shit, this broke my heart. I have abandonment issues pretty badly, and I was up a lot last night just crying. I've been up since around 4 a.m., and it just hurts so bad. I don't know why it has to hurt so bad. It feels like the world is ending. My chest hurts. It feels like there's no point in living without him. He makes my days more colorful. I wake up with motivation because of him. I want to have a life because of him. Even if he treats me badly, he is still the light of my life. I still think he's the best thing in the world. I hate this about myself. It feels like I can never meet someone who will love me again. I feel like nobody will ever care about me. Why would they? I'm nothing special. I have bad social anxiety, so it's hard for anyone to like me. In this modern society, everyone is addicted to their phones, and I have a lot of trouble relating to people and connecting with them. I'm a little more old-fashioned. Last night, he admitted he isn't that happy with me. He said it's not really my fault, but he's struggled with depression most of his life, and he just doesn't feel at home here. I think it's mostly because of my grandparents. We need our own place badly. I just want us to have money saved up first so that we aren't financially stressed. Shit, I just don't know what to do. I know how badly it will hurt if he leaves me, and I don't think I'll be able to do stuff for a long time. I have a job, I'm in college, and I don't know how I'll keep up if he's gone. He said he's willing to keep trying, but should I even bother? It wouldn't be so bad if I had friends to go out with. But I live in an extremely rural area, and it's really hard to make friends here. I just don't want to go through the pain. I don't want to be alone. I really don't have anyone besides him. I guess any advice on how to feel better would be great. I prefer DMs over comments. Story 3. Is ending it over my 33F partner's 34 meters. Lack of foresight. Planning reasonable. My partner, 34 meters, and I, 33F, have been together for around 5 years. He's universally like the kindest human imaginable. Very laid back, sweet, takes an interest in me, and is always super supportive. When we first met, I was really interested and pursued him, but he wasn't as on board as I was, so we didn't end up connecting until a long time later, a year and a half or so. Since then, we've been thick as thieves, and we have a great relationship in a lot of ways. He adores me and is genuinely a good soul. For context, we do live together. Here's where I'm struggling. He doesn't plan, and I don't mean like he doesn't plan dates, though he doesn't unless I asked, usually multiple times. He doesn't plan for anything. He has no real foresight, no plan to save money till I told him it was a necessity and pushed it for weeks, no plan for his future career. He works as a PM and hates it. He doesn't initiate any conversation at all that's higher level than asking about what movie we want to watch. About a year ago, he asked me to marry him, and I said yes. The ring is lovely, but not what I asked for. The proposal was last minute and not special to us at all, and it was on a trip I paid for and planned. I am a huge planner. I'm always trying to look ahead and be prepared, and I've spent so much time planning dates and trips for us, especially things he like, and researching how to save and what we should be doing to best address the next part of our lives. Being with him makes me feel even more obligated to have my head on a swivel, because I know he's not planning or anticipating how to be prepared for anything. He just likes to be comfortable and chill. He loves video games, and while he's recently cut back, he smokes 420 and just likes relaxing. I feel most loved when someone is anticipating and planning for me, and while I beg for us even to just have more conversations about the future, I've totally stalled on planning a wedding because he doesn't bring it up. It extends even to things in the moment. He will ask me if I plan on bringing something while I am holding it, clearly just not absorbing or really doing any critical thinking. He recently was wowed that I made us a reservation a month ahead of time and casually said he wished he had that foresight. He will offer to do something after I've done it. I recently had surgery, and he didn't prepare anything but offered to leave after I was home to go pick up some stuff. I'd already ordered what I needed for my recovery knowing he wouldn't. I'll admit it drives me nuts. I can't stress enough that this guy is exactly what so many women want, kind. He takes initiative on cleaning and cooking. He's supportive and verbally so affirming and nice. But I feel insane because I don't just want comfort. I want someone looking ahead and working with me to plan a life. I've asked him to step up in this area, but it's been years, and I feel like maybe even though we're both good humans, it's just not the right fit. I hate the thought of us not being together, but I find myself missing when at least I only had to plan for myself. So I come to you, oh Redditors. Has anyone seen change in this area in a partner or friend? Is it worth sticking it out, or should I sacrifice the good shit we found in order to try and have this need met so I can turn off my damn nervous system and relax into a future relationship or even just be single? Thanks for all input. Hope y'all have a good Sunday. Story 4. My fiancé, 39M, has been having SI that I know about, and I, 37F, reached out to his mom and she told him, and now he wants nothing to do with me. What do I do now? My fiancé has been in deep depression for a long time. He is a very private and guarded person. He tells me I know more than anyone in his life ever has. I believe him. He has PTSD, and due to other traumatic life events, he has had a very difficult time coping. He's admitted not even his therapists know of his suicidal thoughts. He recently told me that his current mental spiral has him feeling suicidal again. I love him with all my heart, and I'd do anything for him. If anything ever happened to him, I could not live with myself if I felt I didn't do everything I could for him. If anything ever happened to me, I would want to die knowing I did everything I could to love him fully and faithfully to my very last breath. When we first started dating, his mom took me aside and made me promise that I would take care of him and be good to him. I'm a person of my word, and I kept my promise. I don't know what else to do for him. His family lives far away, and his mom is aware of his struggles and depression. He began to spiral again and has started to push me away, with the rationale that my love is a reminder that he's a shit partner. Keep in mind we talk every day, and he tells me he loves me all of the time. I can't be there for him if he won't let me, and I can't force it either. I know this. I reached out to his mom and told her I kept my promise, but I didn't know what else to do and that I needed help. We didn't talk about anything other than the promise I made to her and how wonderful her son is and the love I have for him. I didn't tell her about his suicidal ideation, but left it at the hard days are hard. I respect his privacy tremendously and only discussed the situations that were common knowledge. 2. She wanted to talk about me a great deal. I told her I was afraid of upsetting him by reaching out, and she said she understood, as boundaries are very important to him and he has trust issues. She volunteered to keep our visit between us, and I expressed it wasn't expected but appreciated. She said she was comforted to know he had me in his corner and that he was lucky to have me. She said my effort in reaching out was brave and showed how much I cared. She said he was worth the wait. I agreed. Well, turns out our visit wasn't kept between us after all. I got an angry call demanding to know if I'd visited his mom. He said I crossed a line and to leave him alone. This is a guy who's told me I'm his soulmate, his wife, his partner, his person, the love of his life. I've held him when he wakes up from nightmares. We've tried to start a family together. This isn't a casual relationship by any means. Reaching out to his mom wasn't a spontaneous decision. After months and months of thoughtful discussion, my close friends said my burden was too much to bear alone anymore, and that he needed more than I alone could give. They love him too, and while they don't know the details, they have seen a marked change as he shut them out and only communicates with me. I am at a complete loss and am utterly heartbroken. To say I'm gutted is an understatement. I can't even explain my side of things as he refuses to speak with me. He seems to hold me to a higher standard, and I don't get much wiggle room as far as mistakes. I don't know what his mom told him, but he is so angry. My discussion with his mom literally only pertained to what was previously mentioned. I was concerned about his safety and well-being. I still am. I am absolutely devastated that my intentions were perceived as betrayal. I feel defeated. How could I have handled things better? How do I apologize without backing down? What are the chances this is permanently over? What do I do now other than wait? How much time do I give him before I reach out? We have personal effects to exchange if it's truly over.